How is everyone tonight? Thank you for all of you for attending class tonight.
But I'll be
안녕하세요.
hello.
Hi.
Nhớ sao à?
nhớ trong ở trong mà nói này chừng cú chia là cần đỡ máu
Sợ báo sao đi sợ? Cởi này.
How many of you tonight are teenagers or under the age of 18? Can you show me a show of hands on Zoom? So it looks like most of you are like adult, I guess.
Yeah, except for my son. He's 12 years old.
Okay.
Hey, Sid, come here.
As long as you're learning with him, that's awesome.
I can't hear anything.
Good. My kids are here too. They're under 18.
Okay, awesome. All right. I'm going to wait for 3 more minutes. And then if I don't see any more students coming in, then I'll start the lesson plan for tonight, which is pretty much just the introduction to the class. So we're not going to really dive into the details yet until next week.
Okay.
Tonight is only pretty much covering rules and expectation. What do I expect from you as a student and what you can expect from your teacher? Excuse me.
Is it possible to set these classes earlier during the day and Sunday, or will they always be at 8 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern?
Well, they're going to be at 8 o'clock on Sunday, unless if you want to take an earlier time, which is only 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night.
You said 7 o'clock on
Yeah,
Wednesdays?
on Wednesday night.
Okay.
Because I have a full-time job running from 8 to 5, and then I still have to get from my workplace to my office where I do most of my teaching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't hear.
Wow.
So is it possible to join the Wednesday class at 7 if tonight is
Well, the thing is, if you want to switch to a Wednesday class, at least send me an email after class letting me know that Wednesday night worked better for you. Then I'll take your name and move it over to the Wednesday class because the email that I sent out are different. So I don't want to keep you on Sunday night class and then send email to Wednesday night students when you're not getting the email. So if you want to switch to Wednesday night, they have their different link too. So that's why I want to make sure that I'm putting you in the right class for the right evening.
Okay,
Now,
thank you.
I do have some students that are on Wednesday night, they want to come to Sunday night too. So
Okay.
it happened.
Okay, great. I will send you an email then. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're already 8:06. So I'm going to start the sharing my screen. And as students continue to roll in, I'll make sure I keep an eye out and allow those students to come in, because Wednesday night I was so busy with my second screen talking that a good number of students didn't actually get into the class. So I felt really bad for that. So before I start, I just like to ask a quick question. How many of you in this class are not Hmong and you just want to learn Hmong? I'm just curious. I want to know how many students that I have in this class that are not Hmong. You can just use the emoji to raise your hand. It's fine. Oh, congratulations, Jeffrey. Thank you, Connor. All right. Well, let's dive into our program for the night. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So with this, let me go to slideshow. Okay. So a little bit about me and what is it that I have that is credible to be leading this project. So Lankai is the word for teacher in Hmong, and my name is Cheng Va. Now, I graduated from National American University with a bachelor in IT back in 2004 with an MIS in network management. I ran a translation service called Strategic Business Solution that translate medical and educational materials. I translated a church doctrine, about a 600-page PowerPoint slide. I translated and authored and published a book called Geislu Zhengtia Jening Zhengtia, meaning true family, true love, true family in Hmong. And right now my books are pretty much scattered in the Twin Cities. I actually sent them over to Thailand too. So if you'd like to get a copy, you can email me and I can send you a copy too. And then I'm the chief editor for the Hmong 18 Council book project on Hmong wedding and funeral processes. So that's my credentials for teaching the Hmong class. Now this is for the Wednesday class, so disregard the date and the time. I haven't fixed that. So now for this class, you will be having homework assignment. There's only 3 of them. And with a homework assignment, I will assign each of you 10 Hmong words for each assignment. So your job is to, now these homework assignment is not going to be issued until you actually covered the consonant the vowels, and the tone markers. So once you covered all three and you're familiar with them, then I'm going to have you start writing 10 Hmong words. Now, if you don't have, let's say you're not Hmong speaking person, you can talk to your spouse with either Hmong or your contact, like colleague and associate who are Hmong, and pick out 10 words. Then you want to draw a line and write out the English definition for it, because I want to know if you actually know the Hmong word and the meaning of that Hmong word, and to spell the Hmong word correctly. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, even if it doesn't spell correctly, I will still do my job to correct your spelling, let you know what is incorrect so that you can correct on that. And that's my job. And then you will do that for 3 times. So each Hmong word counts 5 points. If you get the full word correct, now if you get the word incorrect spelling, you get half point. And if you don't do anything at all, then that's 0 point. So that's how I grade my assignment. And each Hmong word or assignment or quizzes are the same thing too. So I do give out quizzes, and each right answer for the quiz is 5 points as well. So we would do weekly quizzes. So like next week, we'll cover the first lesson, which is singular and dual consonant. And then the following week, when we cover triple and quadruple consonant, you will be quizzed on what you learned the week before. So that's how I do it. And then once you completed all 3, so week 1 is going to be single and double consonant. Week 2 is going to be triple and quadruple consonant. Week 3 is going to be vowels. And week 4 is going to be tone marker. Once you covered all of them, then I will give you the midterm. The midterm is just to kind of test your memory if you remember what is what. Okay? And then the final exam is going to be a little trickier, because when after the midterm, then I'm going to be giving you homework, which is to start building your vocabulary by doing the 10 words per assignment. And then by the final exam, I'll have like a 10-word sentence. And in each question, in each question, there will be 4 phrases that are exactly the same thing, but only one sentence out of that 4 phrase is going to have the correct tone marker, consonant, vowels from start to finish. The rest of the 3 is going to be pretty much mixed up. What I'm testing you on is how well you're paying attention to the details. So as you continue to learn the Hmong sound of consonant, vowels, and tone markers, every class is going to be recorded, and I will send you the link of the video either the same night, like tonight, if not the following night. Sometimes if I get too busy, it could be the 3rd night, but it'll give you about 3 or 4 days until your next lesson, like probably the latest is by Tuesday. So then you will be able to watch the video in case you're missing something. And then let's say if you missed the quiz for tonight because you have to work or some family obligation came up, at least you have to send me an email letting me know that you'll be missing class for whatever reason. I'm not a really bad teacher where I'm gonna cut you off point because you're not in class. My job is to make sure you're learning. So I'm gonna do my best to make sure that you're learning, and I love helping you to learn. So I'm not gonna give you a hard time. I just need you to let me know that if you're gonna miss a class tonight or whichever night, at least you email me ahead of time. Then you can make up your homework or you can make up your quizzes by listening to the video and then going to the link, click the link and take your quizzes so that it will show up on my end so I can give you the proper grade. Rules and expectations. All students must respect each other when learning in class. Instructor and guide. I will do my best to teach you with the provided materials. Depending on the class size, each student will be expected to recite the consonant, vowels, and tone markers individually when called upon by an instructor. So, for example, tonight we have a class of 32 students. Well, I might not do that because it'll take a while. But if we have like maybe 6 or 7 students for the night because the rest are busy or whatever they are, I might call on your name and say, read this for me. So that's what I will do. There will be homework assignments, quizzes, and exam to test your mastery of the content learned in class. When the class is over, there will be time afterward for asking questions that either relate to the topic of the evening or any concern that you may have. There will be about 5 to 7 new vocabularies every night. So starting next week, before we do our quizzes, well, actually after we do our quizzes, I will have 5 to 7 new vocabulary. These are vocab that you have never heard of anywhere else. And I'm going to be teaching you these vocab, explaining to you what they mean so that you're familiar with it. And I would strongly recommend that you start implementing, using them with your family. Now, I had students from last class who said, when I talk about these vocabularies with my family, with my spouse, some people thought I was talking in Chinese. No, they're not Chinese. They're not foreign language. They're Hmong language. It's just that we haven't used them or never heard of them before. So it looks foreign to us, but they're actually Hmong words. Okay? Learn to understand and use those vocabulary when speaking in Hmong. All learned class material will be recorded for follow-up learning when needed. I already covered that. Now for the syllabus tonight, these are the wrong dates, so don't worry about the date, but the information is the same thing. So tonight we'll be greeting students, covering rules and expectation, and the history of the writing system. We'll be learning, and then next week, we'll be learning about single and double consonant. The week after that, triple and quadruple consonant. We'll be taking our first quiz, and the following week after that, single and double vowel, with taking the second quiz. And the third week is learning tone markers and punctuation marks. And then we'll take a midterm, and then after that, we'll be learning how each sound with a single letter, when they're combined, they create a new sound. The idea of this whole class is that I want to be able to help you as student to understand the sound of a singular letter, and when you add them together, 2 letters, it creates a new sound. 3 letters, a whole new sound, and 4 letters, a completely whole new sound. So that's the idea of this class. So I'm sure that once you finish this class from start to finish, even if you don't completely master it, you will have a good idea of how these come about. You will not really know how good you are until you actually put them to real use, like writing to a friend or writing on social media. And when people critique you, don't get mad. Be happy they um, show you what's right and what's wrong. Now, I don't know if other people is going to do that, but usually I like to correct my student. I like to correct my colleague. Hey, this is the incorrect spelling. You need to work on this. So that way they can perfect their writing skill. And then we'll have the final exam. And then the graduation is going to be December. Let me get the date. Our graduation is going to be December 28th. Okay. So with all the quiz, all the homework, and all the exams that you take in class, you have to earn 70% or above in order to graduate from this class. Now, we offer intermediate 1, intermediate 2, and advanced classes. And in order to transition into the next class, you have to hit that 70% mark or above. You automatically get transition to the next class if you choose to do so. I have students who only come in and they say, oh, I just want to learn how to read and write. That's fine. And once they graduate, they're they're off to do their own thing, and that's fine with me. And then I have students who say, I want to go with you to the next class, to the intermediate 1. And in the intermediate 1, we recap everything that you learned from beginner class for the first half of the class. And in the second half of the class, we will do short story reading, where I will have you read maybe 1 to 2 sentences from a page from a storybook, and then you'll write me a paragraph. That paragraph can be 1 to 2 sentences to 5 to 6, 7 sentences, depending on how confident you feel you can write out the paragraph. And the reason being is, once you learn the basic of writing and reading, I want to know how well you can put it into a paragraph. And then once you go into intermediate 2, instead of writing 1 paragraph, and instead of reading short stories, we'll be reading a Hmong history book. And this Hmong history book is not like a fairy tale. It's based on research. And you'll be reading chapters. So each chapter is like 5 to 6, 7 pages at most. And then once you read those chapters, you'll be writing like 2 or 3 paragraphs based on what your understanding of that chapter. So we're going to keep building you until you're very fluent in Hmong language, if that's where you want to go. And then every student who graduated with beginners, intermediate 1, or intermediate 2, while the program is still under Hmong 18 Council, you will get a stole as a gift from Hmong 18 Council as a graduate of either beginner, intermediate 1, or intermediate 2. Once you get to the advanced level, that class requires you to do research. So the first half of the class will cover some Hmong culture, Hmong history, Hmong ethics and values, or communication. And in the second half, you will get to pick a topic of your choice, do a research paper, and then write me minimum 3-page to a 5-page paper. And I want to read how well the flow of your Hmong word choice that you choose to write out that piece of paper. And by that time, you should be fairly experienced. So, and then once you graduate from the advanced level, instead of getting a stole, you will actually get a Hmong customized gown that shows your mastery of all 4 levels. All right, does that make any sense? Am I confusing anyone?
No.
All right, awesome. Okay, so let's go on. So introduction to the Romanized popular alphabet. So this, we call it the RPA writing system, which stands for Romanized Popular Alphabet. The history in about 1953, in Gorge Mountain, these 3 founders, especially the one in the middle, Father Barthez, was actually traveling to Southeast Asia, doing missionary work, trying to bring Hmong Christian followers into Christianity. And that's when they developed this writing system. And then Dr. Smalley and Linwood Barney, they're linguistics that actually helped to formulate and perfect the writing system that we're using and learning today. So singular consonant, we call it la, lata, okay? So lata are singular consonant, which is just 1 letter. So I'm going to go through each letter, the sound of each letter. The letter C, jaw. Letter D, daw. Letter F, fall. So these are pretty much just English sound if you think about it. And then when you come to la tong, so ta means singular. So we go back, ta, the second word means singular. And song means plural in Hmong. So anything beyond 2 is song. So la tong. And the word la means consonant. So ch, chaw, dh, taw, dl is a green Hmong word, law, hl, law, hm, maw, hn, gnaw, kh, caw, ml, mlaw, nc, yaw, nk, ngaw, np, mbaw, nq, ngaw, nr, ndaw, nt, ndaw, ny, nyaw, ph, haw, pl, blaw, qh, caw, rh, taw, th, taw, ts, jaw, tx, thaw, and xy, shaw. So the sound are different when you combine 2 letters together. Then la tong, 3 characters. The DHL is the Green Hmong dialect. Law, it's really hard for me to pronounce that one. And then same thing with the NDL. is also a Green Hmong dialect, law. And then HML, law, HNY, nyaw, NCH, chaw, NKH, caw, NPH, paw, NPL, blah, NQH, caw, NTH, taw, NRH, taw. So the NTH and the NRH is a little bit similar, but they do sound different. Taw and chaw. NS, NTS, jaw, NTX, zaw, PLH, claw, TSH, chaw, and TXH, chaw. So the sound is different. And then the last is the last song, which is the 4 character. There's not much in this one. The first one is still the Green Hmong dialect, slaw, which is very hard for me to pronounce. And then the last 3, NPLH, mpla, like imply, like a ring, NTSH, chaw, as in chia for clear, and NTXH, taw, as in two for elephant, or tia for older. Is that confusing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it'll take time as you continue to listen to the sound, because like I said, every video is going to be recorded. You will get a link to go watch it, and then you can continue to watch the video if you're not quite sure what the sound is, so that you get familiar with it. And then I do have a video where I add the vowels and the tone marker, and the tone does not change. So even the vowel change, the tone doesn't change. And you will be able to get to listen to that video so that you can compare how each vowel and tone make a sound while they don't change the tone at all. And those will be provided later when we get to that point. Now the U are vowel. Ta means singular vowel. And these A, I, O, U, W, the sound is completely different from English. And it is also different when you're pronouncing it in Green Hmong dialect. So White Hmong and Green Hmong dialect, these vowels are also different sounding too. And I would tell you that this class is only White Hmong dialect. We don't have a Green Hmong instructor yet, so we're not going to be able to teach Green Hmong yet, okay? In case you have that as a question in the back of your mind. So the letter A, the sound is ah. The letter E, the sound is A. The letter I, the sound is E. The letter O, the sound is aw. The letter U, the sound is oo. And the letter W, the sound is oo. A, E, aw, oo, oo. Okay? Then when we go to U song, vowels only have either singular or double. There's no more than the two. So with the double vowel, the AA is pretty much only used for Green Hmong dialect. AI is I. AU is ow. AW is out. EE is eng. IA is ia. OO is on. And UA is wa. I, ow, eng, ia, on, wa. Okay? So these are just to give you a glimpse of what you'll be learning for the next 12 weeks. So we will go through each of these slowly so that you'll have a better grip of them as we proceed along the course. Tone marker. The letter B, 几下. The letter M, 几念. The letter J, 几度. The letter V, 几估. The underline means there's no tone marker. So pretty much whatever the consonant and the vowel is spelled out, it's the sound of that word. There's no tone at the end. The letter S is 几目. The letter G is 几能. The letter D is 几道. So one thing that I want to make you clear for you, the letter V as in Victor and the letter D as in David, they sound very similar when write out. But one of them, the last one with the letter D, is the tone is prolonged. So the difference is I can say Dao with V, it's like a piece of paper. Dao, very short. But if I use the letter D at the end, Dao, so the tone is extended, and usually the letter D is used for direction. Nhân Dao, Nhân Bei, Nhân Da, Nhân Do. So the letter D is usually used for direction. Okay? Just to make sure you're clear on that. 几些, 几年, 几度, 几股, 几窝, 几目, 几能, 几道. Hmong words are made of 7 different tones. Ba means pimple. Ba means see. Ba is female. Ba is tall. Ba is pancreas. Ba is pancreas. Ba is hide. Ba is grandma. So you can see that in the Hmong word, one word, but different tone, and each tone has its own meaning. So this will give you an example. Ba, 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 ba. And they all have different meaning. So possible ways to create Hmong word is knowing the P is ba in Hmong consonant. The letter E is A as a vowel sound with the tone marker B. Bay, bay, bay is either number 3 or us. That's the meaning of it. Now, what is it that cannot? Some vowels can never be alone by itself. So I will tell you that UA or is a vowel on its own that is also a word meaning do or means do. But like I does not have a meaning. On does have a meaning. So there are some vowels alone that have a meaning of its own, but not always. And in the consonant alone can never make a word. Tone markers alone can never make a word. So you need all three. Sometimes you just need consonant and vowel to make a word. Sometimes you only need a vowel to make a word, but the consonant and the tone marker can never be written alone to make a word. Just to be clear on that. How to create Hmong word? You need a consonant, a vowel, and a tone marker. So for example, da as in day with the vowel E, A, tone marker, V as in Victor, da, A, G, U, day means dog. Or another one, you have, this one has a triple consonant, da, shaw, ha, chaw. And then the vowel, eng, double E is eng, jindu is a J, cheng, cheng is my name. Process of learning how to read and spell in Hmong, memorize the sound and the letters. Practice reading with the mono letter individually. Learn to blend the sound together. Learn to blend multiple of consonants together. Check spelling by reading. And you can go over the video. So what I do recommend is that I don't know if I send you a link to buy a dictionary. I think I did. And you can go to Hmong ABC store. Now, I just spoke with the owner of Hmong ABC store, and they won't have them in stock until tomorrow. So after tomorrow, you can go to hmongabc.com and then place an order for a third edition. It can be a brown cover or a blue cover, it doesn't matter. It's still the same book. So it might be a little bit different variation, but the Hmong word don't change. So once you get a book and you study these vowel and tone markers and consonant, start formulating, start building your vocabulary, and then refer to the dictionary, and you can say, oh, I learned the consonant P as in Paul, and I want to add a O is the sound O, and I wanted to add the tone marker G, which is Jineng Ba. So Ba means grandma. Then as you start to play with the consonant, vowel, and tone marker, and looking it up in the dictionary, that is the best way to build your vocabulary bank. Any questions on that? Okay, I see some student asking questions, so let me go to their website. Go to hmongabc.com, and it's this blue book right here. Just click on that one, and then purchase that one. Now there's this brown cover one too. I haven't. Well, this is actually a pocket-sized book, the brown cover, but I would prefer you to get the blue cover. It's a bigger book, thicker, with more vocabulary. Any questions on that? Oh, they take credit card. If you're local, you want to go right into the store and pay in cash, they do that too. Or you can put in a credit card and order online, especially if you're out of state student, then you don't want to fly into Minnesota for that. What do you mean by the different? More? I don't know if they have the first and the second edition. Probably just more word. I have never seen the first and the second edition. When I first start buying my book, it's actually the blue cover, which is the third edition. One thing I like about this book is that the first half of the book have all the English words, and then those English words have Hmong definition. And then let's say you want to know what the word escalator means. You can go to that book, the first half, look up escalator, and it'll give you the definition in Hmong. The second half of the book is Hmong word in English definition. So if you heard a Hmong word you never heard before, and you look up the Hmong word, it'll tell you what it means in English. So that's why I like that book. Any question? I would say get it as soon as you can. I'm not going to say you got to have it ASAP, but the sooner you have it, much easier it is for you to do your study. With the pronunciation, that's why you need the class. Because just from looking at the book, you probably won't know how to pronounce it yet until you learn the sound behind each letter through the class. So once you learn it through the class, oh, so this is how you sound out this letter, these letters together as a consonant. This vowel, this is how it sounds, and this tone marker, this is how it sounds. So once you learn that and you understand the sound behind each character or letter, then when you look at the dictionary, then aha, bingo, that makes sense. Am I making sense? Awesome. Any question? We still have about 10 minutes. So if you have any question, throw it out and I can answer your question for you before we close out the night.
How many days in advance do you need to know if we're going to be absent for a class?
It can be the same day. Let's say next week Sunday, you have an unplanned event like an emergency. Just send me an email saying, like, guy, I won't be available tonight because of this and that. At least I know.
Okay, thank you.
In your email, you mentioned that we cannot skip more than 2 classes. How is attendance taken?
Well, I don't take attendance as to who's here and who's not. The reason why I don't take attendance is because it is you who want to learn Hmong, and my job is to teach Hmong. So I'm not very strict on your attendance, but if you miss more than 2 class, you'll be falling too far behind that you won't be able to catch up or understand what was going on. That's why. What I do keep track is your homework assignment. So let's say if you miss 5 times out of the 12 weeks, at least you let me know when you do your homework assignment, you listen to the video. That's awesome. And turn in your homework. I will still let you get a passing or graduate if you're over 70%. But I have some students who actually emailed me and say, oh, can you just send me the material or the videos and I can watch it at my own time? Yes, I can do that, but you're not going to graduate because I don't know your performance. I need to see how well you're progressing in class so that I can give you a certificate based on your mastery of the materials. Make sense?
Do you allow retakes for exams or quizzes if we don't do well on them?
If you don't do well on your quizzes, exam, and if you get under 70%, and if you say, oh, I want to retake this beginner's class again, you're automatically in the next beginner's class. As long as you tell me, then I can put you in that next beginner's class. If you don't, other students will take up that space.
What about retakes of the quizzes to get a better grade?
You can do the retake. Usually I take the first answer because whatever you did with the first answer, I correct you if you did wrong. That way you learn if your spelling is incorrect or the word is wrong. Because I have some students who gave me a really weird Hmong word and then they put an English definition. And from my understanding, the Hmong word have no connection to their English. So I'm not sure where they get the word from. Now, it can be a green dialect. If that's the case, I do send an email to my students. I saw you gave me this word. Is it a green dialect? That means this? Because I have never heard of it before. So instead of automatically giving them a incorrect score, like a half score, I get a confirmation with them, and if they say, yeah, that's a green dialect, because a green dialect speaking student, and they gave me green Hmong word, then I would take that as a full credit if it's spelled correctly.
So I
So
have a question.
go ahead.
My question is, if we don't do well on the exam, like the quizzes and stuff and the homework, uh, and we decide to retake them, are they the same or are they different each time?
My classes are consistent. I don't change them like that because if I do that, number one, it confuses me what I'm teaching. And number two, it confuses my other instructors who are also teaching the same class. So my beginner class, it's the same format. Doesn't matter how many times I teach it. I find it that by doing this, my students learn much quicker, much faster, if they're really quick to it. And I do know that there are some students who may be a little more challenging for them. That's okay. They can take beginner as many times as they want. I'm not gonna say, oh, you've taken this too many times and I have to drop you out of the class. That's not my style. My style is to teach you and make sure you understand how to write, read, and speak Hmong.
So if we speak the Green dialect, would you recommend for us to just notate that on our homework assignments?
Yeah, if you speak Green dialect and when you do your homework, you can actually use Green dialect word and then draw a line and then make a definition to it. And then in parentheses, just write Green dialect. And I'll say, oh, okay, that's a Green dialect word. Now, one thing is that this dictionary with a blue cover had both Green dialect and white dialect inside. So you can go and pick a Green dialect word from that dictionary too if you want. That's one thing I like about that dictionary because it had both dialect in there. I had in the past, probably 20 years ago, I have a white Hmong dialect dictionary and the green Hmong dialect dictionary, but this one had both.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, what do you mean by does it help with pronunciation? Michael?
Oh, I think he's talking about the book.
Oh, the book. From my knowledge, if you know how to read Hmong, then it's easy to go through the book and read those words. But if you have no clue of the sound, it's going to be a challenge. So it's best to take a formal class, learn how the sounds are structured. Then once you understand the sound, you can go to the dictionary, piece of cake. Oh, thank you. Anything else? All right. Well, we have 2 minutes left, and I will be looking forward to meeting you all next Sunday night. Now, I know that some students probably are not able to make it to class tonight. That's okay. First night is always introduction. The real lessons start next week. So I do expect you to be on time in class if you want to be successful. Thank you and have a great night and see you all next week.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
My daughters are Hmong, but they don't speak any Hmong. I'm just hoping that it won't be too hard for them.
No,
I mean, I try to help them as much as I can, but I'm not super proficient myself.
Okay. Are you Hmong too or not?
Yes, we're all Hmong.
You're Hmong. Okay. Well, I highly encourage you as a Hmong parent to work closely with your children on these sounds, especially if you know them. That'll help them too.
Okay, yeah. It's just my husband is Hmong and I'm Hmong, so
Oh,
between that two, sometimes they hear a lot
yeah,
of white dialect, but I'm speaking to them in the Hmong green dialect, so I know that could be pretty confusing in itself too.
right. I do
But
have the Green Hmong dialect student, and they were asking when we can offer Green Hmong classes. So
mhm.
I told the student, why don't you work hard, study whatever you can in this class, and become my Green Monk instructor.
True. Yeah, I'll help them as well. We'll try our best.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.